NBC7's Nightly Check-In is sponsored by Bill Howe Plumbing, Heating and Air, Flood and Restoration.
We know how.
The number of coronavirus cases in San Diego hits a record high as we learn about new positive cases at local casinos now being investigated. Experts say it cause for concern if you plan on going to one. Thank you for joining us for the Nightly Check-In. I'm Catherine Garcia. The county was careful not to characterize this as an outbreak, but they confirmed they are conducting a joint investigation on multiple positive cases related to casinos. You'll recall the casinos reopened last month to long lines, big crowds, and a lot of anticipation too. The casinos went out of their way to publicize safe reopening plans and disinfection procedures. So right now we don't know the exact number of cases, when or where they've happened, or the current patient status.
We are having active joint investigations on individual cases. Again, that's not surprising given the number of cases that have been announced, the increased cases that have been occurred in the last couple of weeks.
So far, the only local casino that has given a response is Sequan, which says that it's doing all that it can to support the county in this investigation. In terms of today's numbers, it was the single highest day yet of new positive cases with 332. That's out of 6,981 tests reported. It brings our positive test rate to 5%. There are now currently 11,626 total confirmed cases in San Diego County, with 6 new deaths reported today. An American company is entering the final phase of its vaccine testing in the U.S. The University of Illinois at Chicago is part of a promising national study that launches next month. The potential vaccine was developed by biotech company Moderna. It's designed to help the body produce antibodies. The study will determine if it's effective at preventing people from getting the virus and or making the illness less severe in those who do get it. The plan is to test it on at least 1,000 people in Chicago who will be given a shot in the arm containing only part of the virus.
There have been early studies, what we call phase 1 studies, where they tested in a small number of people to see, first of all, if it was safe and also if it generated the kind of immune response that we're looking for. And it turned out that both of those things were true.
So the plan is to have at least 400 of those 1,000 participants be older than 65. They would also like to include a number of African American and Hispanic residents. The San Diego Police Department is implementing 2 new policies to help reduce the use of force and build trust in the community. The first change is that when it is safe and reasonable, officers should use lower levels of force or no force at all to resolve situations. The second change is that officers must step in when another officer is using an unreasonable amount of force and report it to their supervisor as well. And with so much talk of police reform, the focus is now shifting to police presence at schools as well. Today, the California State Superintendent announced a study that will look at policing in schools and its impact on students of color.
We're already seeing data that shows in many cases that when there are police on campus, this results in more suspensions or arrests of our students, and in particular African American students.
The state says it's aware of, quote, concerning indicators pointing to schools disproportionately arresting students of color. The most recent data for San Diego Unified was collected back in 2015, and that indicated 66% of those students involved in incidents referred to law enforcement were either Black or Hispanic. More sunshine, hopefully in store leading into the weekend. Dagmar joins us after this quick break with your forecast.
NBC7's Nightly Check-In is sponsored by Bill Howe Plumbing, Heating and Air, Flood and Restoration.
Call 1-800-BILL-HOWE. Bill Howe. We know how.
Bill Howe is open to provide customers with repairs and services. We have taken additional measures to keep our customers and technicians safe. We will continue to provide San Diego with trusted, exceptional service.
Because we know how.
So as we've seen pretty much since Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, through today, we'll continue to see, it's finally here, June gloom. So your Thursday is going to present you with a little bit more of that. So along the coastal zones, do expect the very similar conditions to what you have been experiencing. It's that time of year. This is not out of the ordinary. Seeing the low 70s for the coast, low 80s for the inland valleys. Mountains, a few high clouds, low 80s for you. And the deserts, unfortunately, the low 100s and a few high clouds streaming through as well, which will hopefully keep those temperatures down just 1 or 2 degrees. Anything helps.
Today, people in La Mesa came together to support a local business that was looted during this month's protests. Dozens of cars lined up for a donation drive to help rebuild the Play It Again sports shop. People were able to drive up and donate gently used sports equipment from the safety of their cars, all in an effort, of course, to get the shop and its owners back on their feet.
It's just unbelievable. Like, I know I keep saying it's unbelievable, unreal, overwhelming, but I never, ever imagined that we would get this much support.
And the owner said that people donated everything from baseball bats to trampolines, and that one of the most special parts of today is that a lot of personal things were donated, things like signed basketballs and custom-made surfboards. And now with baseball back, there are a lot of questions for the NFL. As a fan, what will it be like to be inside a stadium? It's going to depend on where you go, basically. According to The Athletic, the teams and local governments will decide how many fans are allowed in the stands. It's not going to be a league decision. In the coming weeks, the NFL is expected to release a set of recommendations for safely reopening stadiums. Several movie theater chains are reopening soon. A lot of people are really happy about that. The Fandango website and app has a new feature to help people navigate all the new health and safety precautions. Fandango will incorporate several resources, including socially distant seat maps, attendance policies, and a search filter to find reopened locations. You'll also be able to find out about occupancy limits, mask policies, and plans for special concession services. That's going to do it for our nightly check-in. Have a great night.